Ladies and gents, what the fuck is poppin'? We're back on episode 40 with a very special guest today, the fabulous Melissa Ong, 69420.
Hell yeah.
69420. Is that part of it?
Internet celebrity, musician, rapper, lyricist, lyrical genius. More of a poet, I'd say, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Would you say visionary maybe?
Oh, that was, you didn't let me finish my intro.
We had more.
I was going to say a lot more adjectives.
It has like a whole paragraph right
Yeah,
there.
literally.
Well, I
So
literally
many
feed
words.
off your validation, so I'm right here.
Yeah, you feel special.
Yeah, I was trying to think of the best way to introduce you, but there's just so many things.
Yeah, she's a man of...
Exactly. No, she's a man. That's it. She's a man.
She was telling us
She's a man.
she was telling us she aspires to be a white male, so we're kind of just
My entire
we're
life
letting her
is-
be let him be himself. Today.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
Yeah,
the
I'm
pronouns
coming
right
out
today.
as a white man.
You're coming out on record as a white male today.
Yeah.
Well,
welcome.
you're in
I'm
good
Melvin.
company. Welcome to the club.
Welcome.
I'm Melvin Donger now.
We're happy to have you as an honorary white male.
Hell yeah.
The world needs more of them, really.
Yeah.
Right?
There aren't enough.
There aren't enough of us.
Yeah, my entire life has just been me being like, how can I become as powerful as a white man? And then it's like this thing where I literally kind of forget that I'm not sometimes. And so like I'll like walk around with just, my imaginary dick like sloshing through my legs and I'm just like, yeah, they pay me. And I'm just like, I'm not gonna get arrested, yeah. And and then you do and you're just like, oh fuck, forgot I'm in this avatar.
Didn't work. Oh yeah.
But not mentally.
Metaverse.
not in the metaverse quite yet.
Sorry to interrupt you, Morgan.
Oh,
No,
no,
there's-
I was just going to say that to build on what Garrett said, I mean,
yes.
we got creator of the cum towel, the
Yeah.
cum
Yes.
sock, and coined the term big clit energy, which I
Big clit energy. That's a vibe.
Yeah, no, like I just thought the cum towel was going to be great because I was like, okay, what is the one merch that everybody needs but that nobody has? And like what, content creator person hasn't done this yet? Because you see all these content creators, they're like, oh, I made like a hoodie or some like shitty napkin or whatever. But no one had made a cum towel yet. And I was just like, this is like a specific thing that needs to be made because because when it happens in real life, you just end up using like a regular towel. Like it's like, oh, I just showered with that one and I have to wash it anyway. Okay, we'll use that one. Or like a shirt that's on the ground and now it has cum on it, or
Dirty
even worse.
shirt.
Yeah, and you just end up using something that you don't really want to use for the cum. And then so I was like, well, why don't you just have like a cum specific
designated
towel?
cum
branded
a
cum towel?
designated cum towel. Yeah, and I was just
Fucking
like,
genius.
and then when I first launched the cum towel, people were like, well, by that logic, then you also need to get like, the cum t-shirt and the cum like
cum
sheets.
fit.
It's a whole
And
line.
then-
A whole
fit.
line.
And the cum socks for people who are a little lonelier.
The cum line?
Do you want to tell people where they can cop the cum towel?
Yeah,
Real
you
quick?
can get it at melissa-ong.com/onggang. You can find all of my really necessary and work-appropriate merch there.
She's an innovator.
I have a question about the towel.
Oh, I also have another question.
When you were making the towel, was it like, are we going like nice thread count or is it like absorb, like better
Egyptian
absorb?
Because the problem with
Like,
a
is it
shitty
like a-
cum towel
is it like a chamois?
Is like you'll wipe. Yeah, it's like a ShamWow for cum.
yeah.
No, because sometimes you'll wipe and it just kind of smears. It doesn't really absorb.
No, it doesn't
anything.
absorb.
That's the t-shirt.
So actually,
that's the
no, I mean,
shitty
I learned a lot
fucking
about
pains
merch
teeth.
making because, like, so the first cum towel we produced was not good because I was just, I was just
use
more
the right
doing it for the
substances.
gag. I was like, and because I also couldn't figure out the name, I was like, do I want to call it cum towel, cum rag, or jizz rag, or jizz towel?
Those are all good names.
Those are all great.
was my
Yeah,
nickname
so I
in high
made all
school,
four
so-
of them, and I
All
was just like,
high tier
whatever, I'll just
branding.
make all four. All I have to do is like edit the text on fucking Printful and post it online. It's not very difficult. But when we were like looking at the towels, like the
Could you imagine?
Product testing. The product testing was rough.
so like the first the first batch of them, there was like a miscommunication on like the product end, so they ended up sending us these like tea towels, like those like placemat napkins, and we were like,
it
oh
needs to be
no. So
massive.
they were like, it was like flag material. So then we had like all of this inventory of just like these like placemats that said cum towel on them, and I was like, ah, fuck. Well, I guess it's okay for like the gag and the content, but we can't like, this isn't actually. I was like presenting it to people. Actually, it's funny. I was at the like Meta times Rolling Stone party, like a couple. I couldn't even tell you if it was like yesterday or last year. But the editor in chief of Rolling Stone was there, whose name escapes me because I have a terrible memory because I'm always fucked up. But I gave him a cum towel and I filmed his reaction and posted it online. And his first reaction was like, "This is great, but I feel like it's not that absorbent. This is like tea towel material." And I was like, "Fuck, dude!" The editor in chief of Rolling Stone just called me out on my cum towel.
Well, you don't want to make it out of ShamWow because then it would be like a brick. Like,
Are you thinking
it would
Then
have
it'd
too
be a
much.
cum absorbent brick
I
that
think-
just keeps
I think this
absorbing
is,
until it becomes like huge.
Preferably it's a single use and then wash.
Well, that
sort
was
of
my other
scenario.
question. How often do you think people wash those?
Hopefully after each use, if you're not fucking disgusting.
I mean, if you use like a shower towel, you get at least 10 uses. You just kind of segment little
Yeah,
portions.
yeah.
You're kind of portion it off.
Yeah, for sure. But
Yeah.
then, but when you're like drying yourself from the shower after, you don't want to get like the dried cum on your, or maybe you do.
I was gonna say, have you
I
ever
can't speak for
accidentally
you.
used the shower towel
Yeah.
like after it had a little something
Yeah.
on it? That's no fun.
But
It's all-
anyway,
that's the day that I
it's
got
a product.
Scrapes against
That's
you.
the exact day that I bought my second towel. Is after that.
You're like, I needed
You
some
get
sort of
out of the shower
rotation here.
soaking wet and you're like, I just used that for the thing.
And then you just kind of flip it on
guess
the
we'll get
backside, and
two.
you're just like,
But but anyway, so the tea towel, bad. We discontinued that, but it was still funny because it still is like, it's just like a prop, like a flag. And then we
Cum
just
flag.
Yeah, a cum flag.
Yeah.
A semen demon, and then just like the pride of my semen demonism. That would be the name of my frat.
That's
Or
the,
that
slash
should be-
my business.
should be the
slash
name of
my
your
LLC.
fucking religion.
that's the name of the
Yeah.
episode right
That's
there.
the name of your religion.
I'm actually thinking of starting a new religion because I started one on TikTok like
Semen
2 years ago.
demonology?
But I'm thinking of calling it like the Big Clit Energy religion, where like I'm a god by the name
you're
of
the god. I was-
Clitulo.
the
The
my first-
cliturgy.
Yeah.
Oh, the cliturgy. That's good. I was thinking
yeah.
clitorati, but cliturgy is also very
clitorati.
good.
That's more-
Yeah, the clitorati.
That would be huge.
Yeah, it's like my following, and like
That would be
men
the
can
people who
never
don't
find
believe
us.
in you. Would be the clitorati.
I fucking
Those
love
would be
that.
the most devout followers of all time.
I'm full. I'll put my blood down on the table right now for that shit. Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's
do a
see it.
little blood ritual.
Get
Yeah.
the knife.
Who's got the knife?
Yeah. I just don't really believe anything men say unless they cut themselves in front of me. So
Yeah. Blood oath. Strictly blood oath.
But yeah, anyway, just continue to the tea towel, but now we just have regular cum towels. So like there are a bunch of different ones. So there's a cum beach towel that's
Nice.
like really big and that I bring to the beach. And that's for when you need to come on the beach.
I'm looking at everything right here, and it
And
is incredible.
we had like a pro nut, but now they're like actually like
priced.
very
Yeah.
nice. They're like the nice, like soft, like bougie, like it's like nice. Afterwards you're like, oh, like
I'm
this is
seeing here,
soft.
it's made out of Turkish cotton, so you really did put some groundwork into the
Yeah,
logistics.
yeah.
Oh, it's
No.
made in
Turkish-
Turkey? Did you
the
pair it with
Turkish
All
no.
Saints? It's an All Saints cum
It's
towel.
made in
All
the same
Saints,
factory as
let's
all
collab.
All Saints t-shirts.
Yeah, let's collab.
So you
All
spared no
Saints.
expense with these towels. So for $35, I can get a Turkish cotton jizz rag.
Hell yeah.
Oh, the Pro Nut November Turkish cotton towel.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of No Nut November, I just discovered something this morning.
I'm so ready for this.
I knew there was some sort of follow-up for the December portion.
Yeah.
You got to get rid of all that.
Dump dick December.
Exactly. But I just, we were kind of just browsing around Urban Dictionary this morning, and I found Destroy Dick December. And
Okay.
the premise
Sounds
is,
close.
yeah. So, you're
I didn't
very
even
close.
know that, yeah.
But the premise is way better than you can even expect. So on the first, you have to nut once. On the second, you nut twice. So on and so forth. So on New Year's Eve, potentially 31 nuts. And the total amount of nuts is 496 nuts in December. So you're making up hefty for
Wait,
November.
is there a leader? Is this the first year for it?
I've never seen this before, and it
What
was
were you about
on
to
the
ask?
recently added on.
This reminds me of the
Urban Dictionary.
Masturbate-a-thon. Have you heard of that? The Masturbate-a-thon?
What is that? Every night in my bedroom?
It's no, like just Wikipedia it really quick. It's like a masturbation competition. And so I remember like Googling it a while ago, as in yesterday, as in every night I Google it and read this article. But basically it's like from what I remember, it's literally like the Olympics of masturbation. So then they have these competitions where it's just like, how far can you jizz? And then like the winner is
Where's
like,
my
that guy
fucking gold
jizzed
medal
like
at? This
15
is-
feet that way.
Oh, it's distant. Okay, yeah, distance.
Well, there's a lot of different
Weight?
ones.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, there's a lot of events. It's the Olympics. It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
just one thing.
Yeah.
yeah, it's the masturbation Olympics. Okay, don't undersell it.
Yeah.
Is there a special masturbate-a-thon?
I think it might just be that one. Do you see the Wikipedia?
I am looking
Or
at it.
special
It
Olympics
started in
masturbate?
1995 in
I
San
don't know if
Francisco.
it's still going
That's
on.
There's a
brand.
long cum, a broad cum, and a triple cum.
What sort of
There's a
events
high
do we have
cum.
for
Yes,
this?
there's a high cum. Yeah.
I want to see the
I
events.
definitely have
for
different
this.
names for like coming on different drugs. So like I feel like when I'm like really high on like weed, I feel like my cum it just feels like a laser beam like shooting straight out. I actually have an
that's
image.
interesting.
Actually, yeah.
Is that happening?
Actually,
Yeah.
Jamie, go ahead and pull this up.
Okay. Well, it's on. It's,
I actually have a video
yeah,
of
actually,
a laser cum.
No, Figaro Meni. So there's this artist, and she. Oh, so it's like it feels like this basically. I don't know how to show this image,
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
but it's great.
I love that.
Yeah.
Show that to the camera. Yep. Go ahead.
Here?
Wherever that.
It's basically like a turkey with beams
That's
coming
you.
out of it.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
you can see it there.
I could edit it.
Okay. Anyway, but yeah, and so this artist, like, I have 4 of these paintings above my bedroom. I think.
Of that exact one?
Yeah, that one just over and over again. No, just like a bunch of them. I have this one as a painting as well. Like, I'm into this. I'm into this aesthetic of like.
Is that ketamine?
That's like a Pink Floyd.
I would say this is definitely like more of like a weed orgasm, but I feel like ketamine orgasms, it's like more galactical. It feels more like
Galactical. It's more interstellar.
Well, yeah, no. So I feel like the weed orgasm is like linear. It's like a laser beam shooting out straight. It's like pew, like fucking Cyclops, right? But then when I have a ketamine orgasm, it's more of like a galactical explosion, like clouds, stardust, like
Kind of like the Big Bang. Like it kind of
Exactly.
just shot out into the universe.
It's like the Big Bang, but like fa la 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 la, like
with a little more flair to it.
yeah, just like a little. It's like angelic and like Jesus-y, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, we love a Jesus come.
Yeah.
Wait, was the Big Bang silent technically? It had to have been.
If the Big Bang's around and no one's around,
I think, yeah, that's a tree in the forest, right?
No, but like
Bear shit in the
literally,
woods
isn't
sort of
there's no
situation?
sound in space, right? At all. So I think it would be
There's
silent.
sound.
The Big Bang.
No, I don't think there is.
It has an.
I would not
vacuum.
know. I do not know the answer
Why
to
do
this
we always
question.
get into the science stuff,
Huh?
dude?
Does he-
It's too early.
There's sound in space? Really? All right, there goes my bit.
There's sound in
It
space.
travels. Yeah, it actually travels far too. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't. I'm not.
All right.
not
Well,
right now.
technically, we're in space, so
Yeah.
I hear sound
My
right now.
goal is to
dude.
come into a black hole just to see what it would look like. Like nutting into
a white hole.
Yeah.
Oh, you turn that bitch into a white
Imagine if you like came into a black hole and then it just like came out on like the other side of the universe and then like that
Just
turned into
created
a
a new
meteor.
galaxy or something?
Yeah, and it just sort of like my cum did that.
That's
Is that
impressive.
how this started?
Wait, did God just come and that's how the Big Bang was just a big...
They don't
Yeah.
want you to know
The
that.
things they don't want you to know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that is a part of the Bible. I think
I'm
that's
pretty
Old
sure if
Testament
God
stuff.
was in one galaxy, he nutted through a black hole that just turned into all of us eventually, and
Yeah.
now we're here.
I think that's the way we're gonna
There is no sound.
There isn't, right?
see.
Yeah.
I
there-
told you, because
there's
there's
no
nothing for
sound
it
in
to
space.
reflect off.
Yeah.
It has to reflect off of something.
And it's too cold. It'll
Yeah.
just freeze.
Oh, the
sound will
noise
freeze?
would freeze.
The noise would
Wait, I want
freeze.
to go back to this
But more
masturbate-a-thon.
importantly, no one in space has clout, so that's why we
There's
can't
no
hear
clout
it.
in
There's no
space.
clout in space, therefore I don't care about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
who gives
so
a shit?
true.
Yeah.
There's space.
We
cloud.
can never have a pod in space.
No, you can never have a podcast in space. But I want to go back
How
to
am
the
I gonna get likes in
masturbate-a-thon.
space? Okay, yeah. Okay, Garrett wants to get back into masturbating.
Well, because I think this will be fun.
Because we've talked about a fair amount of this on the show.
What other events could there be for this masturbate-a-thon? So we got a distance challenge. We have perhaps a stamina challenge.
yeah, I think there's stamina. I think there's like a how many times.
How many times in
Just
like a
like
specific
Has to be.
set period?
Yeah, so I think there could be like,
Oh,
you
a
know,
size-a-thon. A size.
like long distance and
Load-
short
load-
distance, right?
a load
so it's like
amount.
how much
Marathon?
can you come in 1 hour versus how much can you come in a day? So there's like, you know, that's like sprinting versus
Oh, it's like the
long
100-meter
distance.
dash versus the 400-meter
Exactly,
relay.
but with
Yeah.
coming.
Well,
yeah.
no, and also don't forget, you also just have the regular 100-meter dash, but you're trying to come.
Oh, you have to run around.
It's not
while,
that.
okay.
Yeah, you don't got to
Okay.
think about it that hard.
And so you have
yeah.
to run as fast as you can, but you have to have come by the time you
Yeah.
finish the
To
100
start,
meters.
it's just all the regular Olympic events.
Rewind everything.
Shot put would be interesting.
What it actually is the normal Olympics, but you do have to come while you're doing the event.
Okay.
Exactly.
I like if there were a challenge where you have to come under a really stressful and specific circumstance. Like, so for example, hey, like we're going to lock you into this room and it's going to be like shaking and there's going to be explosions and a lot of yelling and you have to come
Trauma
in 5
coming?
minutes. Yeah, trauma coming.
I can
Sounds
do
like
that
trying to
one.
jerk off in a frat house. That's what it was like for us
Yeah.
in college.
I mean, we could just use an actual frat house for that challenge.
Yep.
They would be with that.
They'd be with that. What would be the hardest event to come? Olympic event to come during?
Running's easy.
The Holocaust.
You think running's easy?
Any
Swimming.
of the swimming ones.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of drownings during that.
I'm trying to
one.
think of some fun like team sports, like bobsledding the guy in the back.
Wrestling's
Fucking crazy.
all time.
Wrestling would be the best by far.
That's an
What about basketball?
Yeah, you have
basketball?
every one of the 5 people at some point has to dump a load during the game.
Exactly.
It just does, the point
you have
doesn't
to
count.
come. Oh wait, actually no, it doesn't count. So if the basketball, like if you don't come on the basketball before it goes in the hoop, then it doesn't
So it's
count.
got to be splooshed.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got to make it come basketball now.
Yeah, exactly. No, come back. That's gonna be my new merch. Come basketball.
Yes,
And then I can
ball.
just break into the sports community. Then we'll get like what? Come hockey pucks.
It's just the
come
cum
soccer
brains.
balls.
Cum brains.
Come soccer
There's
balls.
just
Can't
so many
talk.
episode titles for this.
Yeah.
It's going to
well,
be hard.
we're going to break into another one because we have some big news. Biggest news of the year. Oxford Dictionary named the word of the year Goblin Mode. which
Oh
is
my gosh,
2 words.
really?
You didn't see this?
You didn't see this?
It's
This is-
2 words, but they literally called it the word of the year.
Oh, I think I did see this.
was voted
but
by, like,
I
the
wasn't sure if it
general
was a
public.
meme or not. So I'll just
It's
see
real.
things, and I'm like, I don't know if this is a meme or actual news.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard to just.
It's hard to know these days, and
have a-
I don't
Can we
like
read
putting
the
an effort
actual
into
thing?
anything.
Because
Yeah,
it
I have a little
kills
bit of
me.
background on it.
Hold on, just the actual thing that they put.
Oh, the definition.
Oh,
Yes.
I have it right here. Or unless
Yeah, I got it. According to the Oxford University Prep, the word goblin mode refers to a type of behavior which is unapologetically self-indulgent, lazy, slovenly, or greedy, typically in a way that rejects social norms or expectations, traits that have become familiar to many during lockdown. Was their official thing, which is...
My favorite thing is that it's literally 2 words in the dictionary.
That literally just sounds like having a good time. That literally just sounds like having a
Like
good
they just
time.
put 2 words in a phrase,
If-
and
yeah,
the actual dictionary that everyone abides by.
The other best part about this is the first time that America was allowed to vote for it.
Thank God.
And if this isn't an exact...
Priorities.
If this isn't the quickest way to show that we shouldn't be allowed to vote
For anything.
I don't know what
It won like
Ever since the
93% of the vote.
Oh
I'm
yeah,
pretty
so
sure.
there's 430,000 votes cast, and it was like 395,000 were for Goblin Mode.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
What email do I need to sign up for to get to vote for this?
There has to be a
I think
newsletter.
anyone could have voted.
But like, this isn't news.
No,
this
I
isn't like a normal thing that
Yeah.
pops up
Yeah.
where it's like, hey, it's time
Garrett,
to
let
vote
me
for
hit
the
your
word
vote
of
on the
year.
word of the year.
No, he wants to be part
Garrett,
of
let
the
me hit your
thread.
vape.
Yeah. Okay, dude. Got you, brother.
Thanks, dude. Thanks, bro. That's very Goblin Mode of you.
It's
Thanks.
so goblin
But
mode.
Garrett, what you were saying about being 2 words, like the last ones, like previous years, like hashtag, like the actual thing was one of the words. And then there was like social justice was like a word. Like they just
really?
use it as like a political thing for like whatever
it's
the
just
big
like
thing of
the
the year
big
was.
thing of the year.
Yeah.
But I love that goblin mode.
Yeah, it was all like very social justice warrior stuff, and then it was Goblin Mode.
You're reminding me right now of the Pornhub analytics. You know how like every year they show you like the top search results?
Oh, yeah.
Like, and so it's like
It's whatever I've been
Pornhub
searching.
Wrapped.
Yeah, no, exactly. It literally is Pornhub Wrapped. Where like, I mean, I read it every year just for personal
See if
reasons.
we're on par with everyone.
Yeah, and like every single year, there's always just like some weird Asian shit at the top. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm attractive and popular secretly to a lot of people. It'll always just be like Japanese da da da, or like Asian girls submissive da da da.
I love how specific they are with the
Asian
top
girl
searches.
Yeah, but and then and like it's interesting to see the trends over time, because like over time the whole like girls orgasming has become like higher and higher, and I'm like, okay, that gives me a little bit of faith in humanity. Okay.
Wait, that's become more popular as a.
Yeah, so like people searching porn
Hold on,
specifically.
wait. People look at that? People watch
People
that
care
part?
about that part?
That's all I watch, dude. I'm trying to spread awareness here. Go
I
ahead.
mostly watch hentai because like I feel like that's like human porn, but I just like really like hentai because I've been watching hentai since I was in kindergarten.
Wait, hentai porn or hentai just.
A hentai, I think, is only porn.
It's only porn.
Oh, it's
yeah.
only
You're thinking of like.
you're thinking of anime.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Hentai is anime porn.
So anime is like Japanese cartoons basically, and then hentai is like Japanese anime porn. So like there's so you can read it in a book.
tentacles and all that jazz.
Why do you
Yeah.
look so shocked? Like you've never researched
Dude,
that.
I didn't
it's
know
okay
about
to
this.
say you've seen it
No,
before. He's
no,
acting shocked.
I literally have a subscription. I pay monthly for this hentai site that I'm
is it
gonna
a good
pull up
one?
on. Yeah. No, it's a great one.
Go ahead and
Can we
plug
get
it.
it for the users?
Yeah, it's called Lesiness. I pay for this site.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Me zooming into the phone.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe you can just put it up later, but like, yeah,
Yeah, this is important.
this is very
that in
important.
there.
So this is what I do when I'm alone, and also when I'm with people.
And
But
with
yeah,
that, we
basically-
have a new sponsor of the
We have a new
podcast.
sponsor.
Yeah, just
Oh, that's what it's like.
yeah. No, it's like the. What was that reaction?
Never seen it.
Classic.
No, but it's awesome.
So
like,
cool to find out new things.
No, but there's this really awesome one
More
right now
types in
that
his user.
I just started reading called Pearl Boy, and it's basically about so it's like a male on male like gay hentai, and it's about a guy who I wish my Wi-Fi would work so I could show you the visuals.
Oh, we're
'cause
okay.
Okay.
We don't need it. Well, I get it. You know what I mean?
Okay. I mean,
I
I'll
can
just,
see it in my mind.
No,
okay,
yeah, I've
cool.
perfect
so
imagination.
so I will just describe it.
I'm drawing on past
but basically,
visuals here.
no, but basically it's about these
know the guy.
Yeah.
like this guy. So it's about it's like a it's like a gay porn between two guys, and one guy has a special ability to ejaculate pearls. And so it's like, so the entire hentai is like their weird dynamic of like, no, like I promise I don't love you just because I'm getting pearls from
Just
you every
'cause of the
single
pearls?
time you come, and we're like using it to
he's like a money
make a lot
grabber.
of money. Yeah. So it's like this like sleazy business guy who's like pretending to be in love with this other guy who can ejaculate pearls, and he's like, no, like I totally love you for you and not because you're jizzing out pearls that are extremely lucrative for my business.
Wait, so is this like a full-on like series? Like,
yeah, it's a full-on series
Oh,
that
wow.
I pay for. So
I
that
didn't
I
know
can
lot
they-
keep
of,
with
I didn't
it.
know they went that deep.
No, they
Season
go
10.
very deep.
Yeah.
There's a lot of kinks to unload.
I've been in this sub community my entire life, and finally it's like okay to talk about it, because when I was reading this shit in high school, I was just like, no, I'm reading Twilight. I'm definitely not reading, like Beast Boy times Raven, like ecchi mature. Like I'm definitely not reading that shit.
Yeah,
I'm normal.
what?
I'm normal.
Wait, how
Yes.
long are those?
Each
Long.
sub?
No. They're like it's like a show, right? There's like
Oh,
season.
it's a show, so I get some actual
You
like,
get some.
plot points.
You get some depth.
No, yeah,
Okay.
no, like it's like it truly is like the best of both porn and plot. It's like because it's like it's a
Need
different
it.
it's a
Need it.
How
totally
long we've
different
been
kind of
saying we need
porn
that.
because you're like invested in the characters, and then so you're like watching them have sex over time and watching them do new sex over time, and there's like a whole plot, and like a lot of it is like sci-fi and or like historical or whatever. It's basically so right now what I'm trying to say is I was ugly in middle school, which is why I know so much about this.
We all
That's
were.
what I'm trying to say.
Wait, so is it like you'll go into an episode? How long are the episodes?
So
3 hours.
Well, like it
However long you
depends,
want it
right?
to be.
Like so the one that's on my phone right now, this is like the reading version. So it's like reading a comic book, but like pornographic.
Oh, okay.
And then, but if you go on like Crunchyroll or something, you can watch it in video form. So,
It'll be like, let's say it's 30 minutes, and then like how many little sexcapades happen in within one episode?
Oh, I mean,
like am I beating off like 3 times in half an hour?
I mean,
watching
it
this
might
shit?
just be.
Has to be.
Has to be.
I mean, it might just be like the whole time it's happening.
Oh, it's just the
Yeah,
entire
no,
episode.
I just watched one where it's like this like amorphous slime tentacle, and it's just like it's a typical tentacle one.
Typical.
Yeah, it's a typical
Standard.
tentacle
Sure,
one.
run-
run-of-the-mill
porn.
slime
Yeah,
tentacle.
yeah.
Run of the mill octopus porn.
Every
Yeah,
day
I
of the
mean,
week.
I don't know. I'm just so used to it at this point. I need something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a whole
Well,
world
if-
out there we
if,
know nothing about.
like-
Yeah,
horse legs.
that's a new universe that I
wow.
haven't discovered.
My question to you would be, if you're getting bored of that,
I never get bored of it.
where do you
Where,
go?
you just said you were like, I need something new. Like, where do we go from there?
Oh, I mean,
From
no.
amorphous slime.
What can we do to
tentacle.
amuse you at this point?
Oh no. I mean, I'm just talking about the tentacle genre, but there's like
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Not
the
the
tentacle
whole
genre.
thing, just tentacles.
Yeah,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
But like, I
And
don't
you know what? And I've been saying it for years.
very creative.
Tentacles are getting stale.
Yeah.
It's getting old.
Step it up, okay?
Yeah.
We can't. It's like we're just running through the same stuff. We
Yeah.
get it. You
Make
know.
them longer.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think you can do? Add more?
Yeah,
like,
it's
come
like,
on,
okay,
dude.
suction cups. It's
How
not
many
a twist
tentacles can you
anymore.
really fit in one woman
Yeah,
anyway?
exactly.
You know what I mean?
To make it really kinky, they should add like paternal love or something.
Yeah. Really spice it up.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
anything
no,
about
I
that.
Have like a father
I had
figure or
this, like,
something.
I had this series on Twitter where I was just talking about my kinks, and they all kept doing well. I was like, my kink is when I like someone and they like me back. It's like my kink is when they genuinely believe in my dreams.
It's like the most
hard to
standard,
find.
The
Yeah.
most standard shit. It's hard to find these days.
Hard to
indeed.
find these days.
That's why it's so kinky.
That's why.
Wow.
You're like, I'm just looking for some standard run of the mill vanilla missionary sex porn. At
It's,
this point, I've reverted back to
So
ground
basically,
zero.
I guess I'm looking for a tentacle therapist. So a tentacle monster that's also like, so how do you feel today, Melissa? And maybe that's like, that's my ultimate fantasy.
That's a win. Yeah.
You'll just end up celibate at this point. I feel like it'd be like this is more kinky than
Is
any
celibacy a kink now?
sort of. I think it might be.
I could guarantee you that
John
is someone's
practices heavily.
kink.
Is it?
It's a Mormon kink.
Is it more unique to not have sex now?
I think it is.
Sure.
I mean, definitely more
Yeah.
unique. But
Wait, I read this crazy statistic. I feel like I should pull it up on my phone, but it's something where like this new generation of like teens or Gen Z or whatever are like 30% more of them compared to our generation are virgins by the age of 30. Like this new
really?
generation is like not having sex at all.
Well, because here's what happened. So I read.
Have you read this?
Yeah, I read a whole thing
Yeah.
on this. So like So
Let the longest virgin explain.
Yeah, I don't know the exact data on it.
Let our virgin
I'm gonna look
explain.
this up really quick.
this is what it was like for them. So
What'd you Google? What's wrong with
them? No, for them.
Oh, wait, I have the exact fact. Okay.
Googled,
I have the,
when am I going to have
I have the exact fact.
I mean, I wrote an article on this, but whatever.
The rate of men 30 plus that are virgins has tripled in the last decade. And then there are stats that Gen Z and millennials are having less sex in general than the generations before us. So that's the...
Well, the stat's correct.
Yeah.
30%. That's 1/3 of the room. We've got one right here. Ladies and gentlemen, clap it up.
1/3.
Clap it up for statistics.
There's 4 of us, 1/3. But so anyways, so it talked about how like if you went into high school as a freshman and then COVID happened, you might have graduated and never built all that social experience the entire time. So you were going
As a sophomore, then you would have graduated?
It
No,
was
right?
like 2.5 years.
It was, yeah.
So like most people lose their virginity like 16, 17.
Oh no, he's
Well, that's
right.
when I
I
was
found the
5.
article right here. It says,
Just kidding.
This is a 2021 article written by Morgan Bunges.
But yeah, imagine going from sophomore year of high school to freshman year of college and just you never
Not
talk to
having
girls ever.
talked to
That's
anyone
crazy.
outside
That
of
would
Zoom.
fuck your whole shit
That's
up.
crazy.
Yeah.
So they just have mad social anxiety. And
Well, that's why you had to be not a virgin before that. You fucked up.
Yeah. Well, not everybody was 13.
That's true.
Not everybody was 5 at my
What about
local
going into
church.
COVID at 25 and still coming out of virgin at 27? How do you explain that one, Morgan Bunches?
They don't listen to this.
I mean, there are definitely times when I walk into a social situation and I'm like, I think I just got my virginity back by just the vibe in here. You know, sometimes.
You became a virgin in
When you
some
came
sort
on
of
this
awkward
podcast?
social setting?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
me with the tentacle porn.
yeah.
I feel like a virgin.
Yeah.
As you should.
Yeah.
You're really covering up the fact that you watched this really well.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I totally have never heard of it before, and I totally don't know what it is.
It's got to be a good time.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break from the show because fucking Manscaped is lit, dude.
Manscaped is lit, dude.
It's never too early to play holiday music, and it's never too early to start thinking about gifts. Whether it's for a friend or the friends in your pants, you can make this season a season to be jolly with Manscaped. Do your little drummer boy a favor and use the Lawnmower 4.0 to avoid another silent night in the bedroom. Then add in Manscaped's top-of-the-line shower products to have the people thinking, all I want for Christmas is you. Santa cares about his sack, and so should you. Look nice when you get naughty by going to manscaped.com and using code NOFOMO at checkout for free shipping and 20% off. Now back to the show.
So I've got a fun question, and I'm honestly scared where this will go. So Hunter Biden's laptop's back in the news because of the Twitter files that Elon released to that reporter Matt Taibbi. And they're talking about how there was like political suppression of that story during the election.
That actual whole story is nuts.
It's actually insane.
In
We
itself,
can dive
but-
more into that.
Yeah, let's do the Hunter Biden first.
I just
yes.
wanted to know if Melissa Ong had a laptop leak akin to Hunter Biden's. What will we find on there?
Well,
To be honest,
Other than hentai
a few
porn.
tentacle sites.
just my diary where I talk about my hopes and dreams. Just, you know, my internal vulnerabilities that I don't want anyone to see.
Embarrassing.
No, because like I'm like totally fine talking about the sex that I have and the drugs that I do, but I'm very uncomfortable with intimacy and talking about my genuine like internal soft feelings. And so it would probably be something along those lines. I mean, I don't know, because I kind of post everything.
I was going to say, I don't think there's any skeletons in this
I
closet.
really
It would probably
like-
be the more serious side.
It would be the
No,
more.
it would be the more serious side, because when people are like, what's underneath? And I'm just like my more serious side where I feel emotionally vulnerable and like a real person. I don't know. Like,
I feel that because nobody really talks about real, like, what's the right word for it? Just like real emotional
Real
shit.
things.
Yeah, because it's just like kind of
well,
like
no
we
one,
definitely
no
know.
one in the degenerate circle we're in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we have to be very drunk to talk about it, but we do.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you do talk about it, it's in a joke or in a song or off a line.
Yeah.
Yeah, or wouldn't it be lame if, I like to be told?
Yeah. Wouldn't it be so weird if I just fucking told you guys how much I like genuinely appreciate your presence in my life? Like,
That would be
Yo, chill.
wouldn't it be like so fucking gross?
I don't, though. I don't. But yeah.
Wouldn't it be so
But it
fucking
would be
gross
weird,
if I
huh?
just like genuinely appreciated
But
you?
even with that, all that stuff coming out about the Twitter files, I was thinking like, couldn't you like sue like Twitter for like secretly blacklisting you? because like people have like business through like Twitter.
Well, yeah, because he just released the actual like list of blacklist people.
So it all matters what hits the hardest is like what side you're going to be on. So,
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, like,
just
say like your company like got blacklisted secretly because it was all secret. They didn't tell you anything that happened, and it was just because you were like politically against whatever. And then you're just like you like lost money.
Yeah.
Like you would get, you're like,
that's your presence online.
yeah, that's your
fucking
business.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
feel like they could get actually sued for this. Hopefully,
well, that's
I
the
mean, I
tricky
don't
thing
know.
with
I
all
feel
this
like they should be
social
able to.
media free speech stuff is just fucking crazy. All right, so I actually had a question that I forgot to ask back on the merch stuff. What are some of the things that didn't end up coming out, but that you thought of?
Oh, what didn't make the
Because I know if the Come Towel makes it out, there's got to be
some gold in the archives?
Oh my gosh, no, I like. Let me like get back into my brain. I don't know. I think everything that I've wanted, I've
you just
like.
send it.
Oh, you know what? I did have an intrusive thought where I was just sort of like, I feel like people would buy a fleshlight molded from my actual vagina. And I got that idea because I was watching an Anthony Jeselnik interview, and he was saying like a fan had made some like 3D printed like wax molded dildo based off of his dick or something. And I was just like, oh, well, I mean, like, I'm a feminist. I want to also do my part in that. And I was thinking like, I was like, I could probably like figure out a way to make a fleshlight based on my actual vagina. Like you just put like some wax. I mean, it can't be that hard, right?
They do it for
It's a
like
good
porn stars
Valentine's-
already.
Yeah, it's a good Valentine's Day.
Like the
gift.
actual fleshlight has like fucking, I'm not gonna name any names, but they have like some real porn star like vaginas and buttholes and shit.
Yeah, I mean, so that's an idea that I've been having. I don't know, maybe I'll make it one day, but then there was a part of me that was like, I don't know if I want people to have that. But at the same time, I was like, unless they pay a really high price for it, because
I mean,
there's
yeah, it's
nothing
not
I
bad.
won't
You
do
could
for
charge
the
an
right amount of
absolute
money.
premium.
Yeah, I was like, well, there's nothing I won't do for the right amount of money.
True.
Because I'm a sellout.
I would never mind.
No, it's like funny when I first started blowing up on TikTok and started selling merch, people were like, you're a sellout. And I was like, yup. And I'm just sort of like, no, I'm not just sitting here and making butthole jokes for free, okay? I want to make butthole jokes and for you to buy my butthole merch.
Yeah, you can't make butthole jokes and then go to a desk job. It's
Yeah,
not
no,
gonna
no,
work.
no, no.
You can.
You could. I
a
don't think it
certain
would
type
be
of desk job.
It's not sustainable.
Wait, so
It's more of a black couch job.
does it just like come to you or come? Does it just like come to you or like where do you go for inspiration to think of that stuff?
Oh, so I don't go anywhere for inspiration other than the inside of my own head. So basically, like, at any given point in time, I always have a bajillion ideas firing. Like, I feel like the inside of my brain is like a freeway with like a bunch of different thoughts as cars, and they're all just like
Crashing into each other.
Yeah, which is why I do downers. So like I don't really do for the most part I don't really do uppers because I'm already naturally very up. And so I have like the opposite problem of people where I like have too much energy, whereas I feel like a lot of people are like always tired versus I'm like always manic. I'm always just like, fuck, I have so much energy. But so that's why I do like downers because it actually slows me down to like a normal societal level. But honestly, ideas just come to me like this. Like I would say that like all of my work that I put out there online is like 5% of my total ideas, because like my issue is always like I have a bajillion ideas, but like obviously I'm just a mere mortal, right? And like you only have like so much time and energy and patience, and it's like, and I want to like live my life too. Like I have all these ideas, but I don't want to just like sit and make content all day. I want to like, you know, fucking party and shit like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know, they just kind of like pop up into my brain like intrusive thoughts. Like my Twitter is just me posting all of my intrusive thoughts out loud. Like I've always referred to all my social media apps as like different cum dumpsters where I just nut all my various ideas into. So like TikTok is my like video cum dumpster, and then Twitter is my Twitter cum dumpster, and then like Instagram is my like thirst trap cum dumpster. Like every time I just have an idea, I'm just sort of like put it into the algorithm and see if I get a reward. And sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. Like it's interesting, like different people create content in different ways. Like for me, like I totally don't give a fuck about what my audience wants from me or asks of me. Because I've built
Really?
No, I don't.
That's interesting. Well, I guess your brand is kind of
My brand
exactly that.
is I literally don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about me. I just care about what I think of myself. I kind of think that's how people should live. I think that like life is bad for you if you're just constantly worried about what everyone's thinking of you. And I'm just like, but yeah, no, I know a lot of creators are like, what does my audience want? But the reason I don't do that is, well, one, I don't want to, and two, I think people are not good at asking for what they want because people don't actually know what they want, right? Like people didn't want cars, they wanted faster horses. Like everybody back in the horse era. I'm in my horse era right now because I'm addicted to ketamine.
That was a good analogy. I'm not gonna lie.
No, but like people like, back in the horse era were like, I want a faster horse. And it's just like, no, that's what you're saying what you want. You just want speed, right? And then so people will say like, we want this. And I'm just like, cool, that's what you think you want. But I built my entire platform off of doing what I thought was funny. And then you just happen to like it.
Latch on to it.
Yeah. So, got so deep. See, this is what you would find on. This is what you would find on my laptop is like my serious side where I like, because I always make fun of like those, like life coach people who are like, how to change your mind to change your life, but because I unironically digest that content and think that way, and so, I also think that everything I do is like super cringe, and so of course I'm like, I don't unironically listen to Gary Vee, I'm just like, no, like I'm negative, I'm cynical, I totally don't tell myself like really affirming things every morning to help me get through the day.
You don't say positive affirmations at breakfast?
Yeah, and I'm just like, no, I don't love myself secretly.
Well, yeah, it's weird because like everyone's process, that's why it's so interesting to ask like creative people how they think of stuff, because just like with our stuff, like how do you guys even do it?
With what? With the podcast?
Yeah.
Don't think at all. That's the main thing.
Yeah, I think it is different for each of us because I know you do like a lot of prep and things, but for me, it's very much just like if we have an idea,
Garrett, could you
just
give me another
come up
White
with
Claw? It's closer to you.
Come up with it on the spot. Like you were just asking her like any merch that she didn't come out with. I thought of like 3 merches.
Oh, so you do it more on the spot?
Yeah. Like I was thinking, because you have the clitoral hoodies and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, so the clitoral hoodie. For that I was like, oh well, then maybe I could have like a dick and balls sweater also, where it's like you have 2 just like giant, it's not practical, right? But you just
I think
have like
sweats would be better.
No, a onesie with the feet as the balls.
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah, and just a giant dick hanging between your legs.
And no arms.
No, you are the dick.
No
It's a
armholes.
onesie.
Oh, you are the dick, and the balls are your
feet.
feet.
It has a cutout of your head.
Oh my god, no! And then the hoodie would be like the foreskin, right?
And your arms could be pubes. I don't know.
No, I remember this one time I was like high at this party and I was wearing the clitoral hoodie and I was like, guys, look, I'm like a foreskin. I'm just like one. And then I was like, wait, maybe we should make foreskin hoodies. But like my foreskin content doesn't do that well on TikTok. Like there are certain genres where I'm just like, I tried to start a breast milk religion. That didn't work out for me.
The breast milk religion?
No.
Yeah, I had this whole vision.
Oh, we actually did a whole episode on breast milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there should be more breast milk content, but apparently people don't want to hear it from me. So, because I had this whole like vision of this queen, like it's like Queen Latifah, and she's like a breast milk goddess, and then you have to pray to her every year if you want to have a bountiful yield of breast milk this fall, because we live in a dystopian society in order for this character that I'm saying right now to work. And so it's like I just imagine her with like really pointy tits, and then she's like squirting acid milk out of them, and like that's how Queen Latifah conquers the world. So I made like 10 videos about it, and all of them flopped, and I got really bitter about it, so I deleted it. Like I delete most of my videos.
Deleted the whole series?
Yeah, because I was just like, I was bitter. I was just like, this is amazing, Queen Latifah, and like no one liked it, and then I got insecure about it, and I was like, okay, bye. I didn't think, whatever, it's fine.
Yeah,
it takes forever.
We have that same sort of stuff happen to us where we'll think some idea that we have is going to do really well, and then that's the one that does bad, and then the one that we're like reluctant to put out
somehow ends up being the best.
This is trash, but we need to put something out, and then that's the one that does really well. So you just really don't. You
our
never
opinion
know.
of like our own ideas is hard to gauge sometimes. Like,
well, yeah, because it's like, especially with comedy, right? I'm just like, okay, I think this is funny, and that's subjective, and that doesn't mean that like a bunch of people. Oh wait, my thing's coming off because I was doing the foreskin impersonation. Here, let me readjust. I was just like, wow, my hair was fucked up because I was busy impersonating a foreskin and I didn't notice. Just typical me problems. But I would say with content creation, like I always tell people, like when people are asking me, that process is the most important thing. Because like I've been like making viral videos now for, I don't know, maybe like 2 or 3 years. And I just noticed like every time I like get fixated on the numbers, and every time it like backfires, right? Like when you think about the numbers and the analytics and you're like, well, what would make it da 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 da, then it totally backfires because that's not what got you there in the first place. What got you there in the first place was just making what you genuinely thought was funny and having fun with it, right? Like I've actually had this conversation with like so many people who have blown up in the last couple years where everybody kind of goes through the same like mental trajectory of like you start, everyone starts the same, right? Everyone just starts like having fun, posting whatever they want and just like being themselves, not really overthinking it. And then something that you do starts to blow up and you get a lot of traction and you're like, oh, and then you get into this mental thing of like, wait, how do I keep recreating that thing that's giving me results? How do I keep recreating that thing that's giving me results? Yeah. But then you're not like thinking from the same mindset that you were that like got you the fame in the first place. Now you're thinking of it of like a results driven
marketing thing.
And then it like kind of sucks all the joy out of it and people can even though you feel like you have control over how people are perceiving you, people can sense that, right? Like people can sense when you're being genuine and having fun versus when you're like just trying to do something and like force it for marketing. So because my trajectory hasn't been totally linear, right? Like I exploded and then specifically on TikTok, like I literally like exploded for 6 months and then I plateaued for 6 months. And that was like such an emotional roller coaster, right? Because, months 1 through 6, I was like, oh my God, I'm exploding.
The best in the world.
Like, it's like, I'm growing, I'm growing linear. And then in May, I did this like viral trend where I started this cult online called the Step Chickens. And then it like mass exploded and I went
up for that.
Yeah, and then but then I went like super viral, right? So I went from like 1 to 2 million followers in like a day or a week or something. And so there's
really?
Yeah. So
That's
there was
crazy.
this like there's all these news articles about it. It was like a whole thing. Like it was like the front page of New York Times. Like all of my like ex-boyfriend's parents who like live in upstate New York were like, I saw you in the New York Times, Melissa, and I'm like, thanks, Connie. And
hope you didn't watch the videos as to why.
yeah, like I hope you only saw the article.
Yeah.
But then after that, I literally like plateaued and flopped for 6 months, and that was it was devastating. Mm-hmm. It was really depressing, right? Because I was like, fuck, dude, I just like had all this success and I had this like huge explosion. And then now after having the huge explosion, you're doing the same thing, but you have like nothing. And then I realized, and so that was a really difficult 6 months for me because I was like, doing the same shit. Like I was still making videos every day and I wasn't growing and I was like, fuck, like, do I suck now? Because I was like tying my self-worth into it, right? Like it's so hard to like not, define your self-worth by like, oh, this thing that's like my passion and really important to me that I'm sharing with the world and is successful is not successful. Oh yeah. Like I'm not going to pretend that doesn't hurt you in some way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like when like we just started this 8 months ago and it's just fucking like everything went up at the start and then like it levels out at certain points. And you're just like,
for
fuck
sure.
it.
But luckily, like now that I'm in this industry, I have friends who have been doing this for much longer than me, right? So it's like you have the whole YouTube community who's been doing this for like 10, 15 years. And so when I was kind of like struggling with my first plateau, like all of my friends who were like big in the YouTube community were like, oh yeah, that's just what happens.
This is how it
and then
goes.
So basically what
That's
everybody
crazy. That's what they say?
What everybody has told me is that it's just like it's always just like this. It's like you rise and you plateau and then you rise and you plateau and like it always comes in waves. And so obviously your first wave is like, oh my God, I didn't know that it was a wave function, right? I didn't know that it was like come and go. You like because when you first get into it, I mean, how could you know, right? Like when you see it happening to other people.
You gotta ride the wave,
there like you gotta know this.
Yeah, like when you see it happening to other people, you're just like, oh yeah, there's just really big and da 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 da. But like for me, like the second 6 months, so like the first 6 months of my explosion, then the second 6 months of me just like fucking flopping. Like for 6 months straight, I was like, I was at 2 million, but I wasn't like, I have 2 million followers. I was like, I'm stuck at 2 million followers, which is kind of an insane thing.
Fuckload of people.
Which is kind of an insane thing to say to yourself, but that's like what people are saying to themselves in their head because you're just so used to like this baseline growth. But I kind of knew inside, I was just sort of like, if I just keep doing this over time, like it'll pop off again. And it did. And actually what helped me like start growing again was I had a conversation with a friend who was basically like, hey, Melissa, like, like channel that person who you were when you first started. Like right now, like you're flopping because you're focused on it, right? Like because you care so much about the numbers, but what got you here in the first place was not giving a fuck and just doing what you thought was cool. And so like get yourself back into that mindset of where you first were when you were just having fun, like when you were blowing up and you were just doing exactly what you wanted and not overthinking it. Like that's what got you growth. And then once I kind of got myself back into that mindset, I started growing again. And then over over the last couple years, I was just like, oh, this is like literally just a pattern. Like, so now I'm so used to it, right? It's like, okay, so like you rise and then you plateau, then you rise and you plateau, and you rise and you plateau, because it's not like I'm creating content all the time, right? Like I'm also like living my life, and
you gotta get out there to fucking know what's funny.
Well, you need material again.
Yeah, and I need to actually live my life, right? And then so I've just become very comfortable knowing that like all of my success has always come in these like waves, right? Where there'll be this 1 month where I'm getting like, so much attention and all of these like huge deals, and then there'll be like 3 months of radio silence. But that doesn't worry me anymore, because now that I've been doing this for like 2 to 3 years, I've just seen that it's just a pattern. Like it just always is like, you're just like,
when in doubt, get back to the towel.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, when in doubt, just get back to the cum
I've
towel.
heard a lot of like stand-up comedians like on some of their podcasts talk shit about like the superstar comedians. Like once they reach this insane level of success, it's like what made them funny was talking about being on the fucking subway and all this crazy shit they experience.
And they're not relatable anymore.
And they're not relatable anymore. Like that's what makes comedy like, especially like a lot of the comics I like, it's just like realistic, funny shit that they just observe. And they're like, as soon as they're fucking flying in private jets and having chefs cook for them every night, like there's not really anything that anyone that their audience is involved in that's
You're not
related to. It's not relatable whatsoever.
Yeah, you don't meet that random guy that fucking pisses you off.
Yeah, like when like all these guys who play arenas and shit. Like there's very few that have maintained like being
I mean, and that's why like
funny.
I'm glad that like I sort of entered this already a fully formed adult, like I lived in the real world before getting on TikTok. Like cuz prior to this I was a stereotypical like go to college, work a corporate job person. Like I went to Berkeley, I worked for Google, hated it. Was just doing it cuz I was like I mean, we're millennials, so like I was kind of fed that story of like there's no jobs and the economy sucks, and if you don't get into a good college and get a good job, then you're gonna die on the street. And I was like, well, I don't want that to happen, so I guess I'll go to college and get a job. And then
I mean, we were just talking about this on the way up, is like how important growing up some and normal is.
Yeah, exactly.
Or not with a bunch of money.
And like I feel like a lot of people just don't do that. I can't believe I just thought of this. This
Revelation
doesn't
inbound.
completely relate, but there's a guy on TikTok right now who I think is doing the most important work that anyone's ever done. He does a series. He goes around and he asks people, what would you rate yourself a 1 out of 10? And they say it. And he says, do you think other people would agree? And then he takes a picture of them and shows it to another person and says, rate them 1 out of 10. Mm-hmm. And it is, I swear to God, it's going to change the world. I'm not kidding you. It's the best because every girl or guy is like, I'm a 9, I'm a 10. And then they show the picture and it's like 4. And then so he goes and he just keeps going from person to person. And I think everyone in the world needs that check. That might not be the best way to do it by looks.
Yeah. No,
but
like, honestly probably is.
But like someone needs to be going around and be like, all right, evaluate your life right now. And it's like, oh,
maybe not a fully looks-based thing, but a life evaluation.
Like if you did
a
like
life check.
evaluation, it's like, oh yeah, I'm killing it in this, this, and this, and then they show that to someone else, and like, I don't know. And then like if you got to see that back, you're like, okay, maybe not. Maybe I need to go back to work a little bit.
Perspective is important.
Yeah.
Self-awareness is the biggest skill
I think it's
in the world.
the most endearing quality of anything you can have.
I kind of think it should be like a baseline human requirement that they should teach in schools. I'm like, they should teach self-awareness.
Well, they should just beat them all down and make them work.
Awareness in all aspects, like self-awareness, social awareness, like street smart awareness. I don't know if that's a type of thing. Like
you just
like,
made it a thing. Just
like
now.
just
it is now,
being
John.
able to tell like when you're in a room and you're being annoying, or being able to tell that like just having a sense of what's going on around you.
Well,
is
just
so
general self-awareness. Yeah.
General self-awareness.
That all falls under that umbrella.
Yeah,
It does. I feel like there's
What's
so
funny
many
because in
little
school they're
pieces
just sort
to
of
it.
like I just remember the lessons that were drilled in me in like my school system were like, okay, here are the 3 stages of a monarch butterfly. It's like caterpillar, cocoon, and monarch. But you're remembering this, right? And I'm like, yeah, and like and just stuff where it's like, okay, what are the 3 states of matter? Like
Regurgitate.
solid, liquid, and gas. And I'm like, yep, this is
important.
This is important. I'm glad that I'm memorizing it and that you're using it to evaluate me and determine my future.
Yeah.
That makes sense because it's super important in life.
It's super
knowledge.
important. Solid, liquid, and gas, bro.
Sublimation.
Damn, they really
I
taught
use
us
that
all
daily.
that shit, and then
Yeah.
we just.
Dude,
just
my
doesn't matter.
geometry teacher, like in probably my sophomore year of high school, said to get the Pythagorean theorem tattooed on ourselves because we're going to need it for the rest of our lives.
Oh,
What?
I swear to God.
That's
Y equals
nuts.
mx
Looking
plus
back,
b?
I'd love to
A
think.
squared, B squared, C squared.
I'd love to think. Looking back, Looking back, I love to think that he would just say that every time and just crack the fuck up because he had to have been joking. But none of us thought that. We're like,
I saw a few of those
important
memorized
right now,
for no
so it
reason.
must be important forever.
Yeah.
And I was just like looking back, I'm like, holy fuck. That guy was
Honestly,
a
like
cocksucker.
middle school teachers are so weird.
Well, yeah, I have a few of those memorized still, I think.
Yeah.
Quadratic
Y
formula.
equals mx plus b.
Negative b plus or minus square root of 2ac all over
X equals
4
negative
ac
b. over 2a.
Wow, that was
Yeah.
very
X
impressive.
equals
Yeah.
negative b plus or minus square.
They had a
root of-
song for you?
Wow.
What grade did you learn this in?
Oh, yeah, there was
First
a
grade,
song.
I was way ahead of you.
You had this in
I was
Wait,
way
I
learned that
remember
in kindergarten?
Animaniacs had a song for remembering like all the states and capitals, right? It's like Baton
got
Rouge,
it.
Louisiana, Indianapolis, Indiana, and Columbus is the capital of Ohio.
Oh,
There's
they threw
Montgomery,
capitals
Alabama.
in the song?
Yeah,
Ours
yeah.
was
So there's like this.
Alabama, Alaska, Arizona,
Oh, okay.
Arkansas, California.
I was doing the
Colorado.
Animaniacs one.
alphabetics,
They have
yeah.
like a
Okay.
whole one, but
That's more
clearly I
popular.
only know the first three
Dude,
lines.
Songs hit different. There's like a section in your brain that's dedicated.
Well, if we want to talk
it.
about songs, you have a pretty impressive discography. That I'm
Yeah,
looking
no,
at.
that's why I do them. I'm like, what's the least amount of work I can do for the most amount of virality?
So we've got Chunky's Dead here on Spotify. That's
Chunky's Dead on Spotify.
Wait, where does that name come from?
Literally
Yeah, I knew that
one of the literally there's just
It's a really sad story,
a
actually.
hamster that passed away.
no, it was just it was one of the first TikTok trends I saw. So when I first got TikTok like 2 or 3 years ago or whatever, there was just this song. It's like a play on this Donkey Kong song. So there's a Donkey Kong song where it's like his name is Donkey, he's dead, and then someone like remixed it or whatever. It was like his name is Chunky, he's dead, and then a bunch of kids were using that trend to talk about like their pet that had died, and I was like, that's dark and funny, and that's my username now. I put very little thought into it. I was just like, that's funny, and now that's my username. And then I just kind of forgot to change it, but then like I got really successful really fast, and then I was like, fuck, this is my username now. I guess
Can't really change it.
Can't really change it now. And then I recently changed it because I kind of want people to know my name is Melissa, not Chunky, because people actually think, because people are stupid. People are like, oh, like
Inherently, yes.
yeah, because like people are like. People actually think my name is Chunky, and it's funny because like I'll be like recognized in public, people will be like Chunky, but like people who don't know that that's my username will be like, that person's being a fat shamer or whatever. Like I remember in New York, I like walked into a coffee shop.
I could
and-
see someone screaming chunky at a human being is my first thought. If I didn't know who they were,
no.
would be like, hey, chunky. Hey, chill out.
No, like that's what happened. So I was when I like used to live in Manhattan, I was like at a coffee shop. I go up to get coffee, and this guy at the coffee shop, he recognizes me, and he literally just like blurts. He's like, "Oh my god, you're that Chunky girl!" And then everybody around
Everyone's
is like
boo,
horrified.
boo.
Like, what the fuck did he just say?
Yeah, and everyone around is horrified, and I was like, no, guys, it's okay. It's my username online. It's just it's okay. But I kind of was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna have it be my real name.
I mean, Chunky's, the story that you had behind that is not as bad as half the names that people come up with.
Oh, by far.
Like, what is Post Malone? He like put it in like a word generator.
Yes, he put it
And
in
he's
a
like
rap
one of the
name generator.
biggest artists in the world.
That's a word generator?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
just typed it into, he said random word generator and just clicked it like 3 times and then went with that.
Yep.
Does it not have to do with his name? Isn't his like last name
His name's Austin Post.
Okay, never mind.
He just put it. It said like,
Yeah.
what is your name, and then pick
Yeah,
like
because they
some
ask you like 3, it's
descriptive words.
like, what's
or
your
whatever.
favorite color and a bunch of other stuff, and then you click it and it goes nuts.
Cool. Yeah, I feel like a lot of these usernames have very little thought that go into them. I mean, because that's pretty much all of my
Wait, the
content.
69420 thing wasn't super thought out.
No, that's by design.
Yeah. I was just it was a little bit thought out in that like I always just think it's kind of pretentious when people are like, oh, I'm like. You know, like people have such an obsession with their individuality, right? And people are just sort of like, no, like, because I remember when I did Melissa Ong 69420, people were like, no, but like you should have done just the Melissa Ong, so you could be the only Melissa Ong. And I'm like, I am not tied to my identity in the same way that you are. Like I am very well aware that I am like a sack of organs with a conscience, and I just present this way. Like I am not like.
I hate to say it too, I doubt that you're the only Melissa Ong.
No, there's a bajillion. There's a bajillion.
Yeah, that's.
But we are the only 69420.
Yeah,
No,
we're
if you
gonna
went
put that name
69420.
right off the top side. I feel like it could have got lost in the wash. So.
No, exactly. And there's a bajillion. Like literally the other day, one of my agents at WTA, he was having dinner with someone named Melissa Ong, and then there was like a name tag, and he sent it to me. He was like, look, it's your Singaporean equivalent. And I was like, wait, I actually know who that is, because whenever I search for myself on LinkedIn, she pops up instead of me, because I'm banned on LinkedIn.
You're banned on LinkedIn?
Yeah, I got banned on LinkedIn because I was just posting some like
Absurd shit.
unhinged. So like
Tentacles.
Well, because I think like LinkedIn is so cringe,
all comes
right?
back
It's
to
just
that.
like
I've never even opened that website.
yeah,
before.
I mean, like it's back from when I was like in my like Berkeley Google days, and I was like doing that shit. So I started shit posting on LinkedIn. So because people post like really cringe shit on LinkedIn, like what's your superpower?
Oh, I've
So-
seen some friends post some shit that I'm like, yo, who are you?
And no, and it's
Like
just-
they'll like screenshot and put it in like a group chat. And I'm like, woo.
yeah, and so like I think the post that got me banned was I was like, what's your superpower? Mine is clenching my ass cheeks. And I made a video about it. So I have a song called Clench Game Strong.
Clench game strong?
Yeah, it didn't go super viral, but I wrote it and it exists and it's online.
It's not in your top 5, but
It's not in my top 5.
Can I list this top 5 just for our
Yes,
listeners?
yes, please.
And I want to know your favorite, but don't say it immediately.
Okay.
We have to run through the gambit here. So we've got number 1: drink it, smoke it, snort it, shoot it.
That's a good one.
Don't fuck your coworkers. That's one of my personal faves. That's a newer one, right? Mm-hmm. Yep.
That one hit.
We go, don't kill yourself. You're too sexy. Very inspirational. Mm-hmm. Big clit energy, of course. And then fucking busy, busy fucking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which of those are you most proud of?
To be honest, even though it wasn't the most viral, I'm most proud of Big Clit Energy because it kind of summarizes my life philosophy, and also because DJ Fellyfeld produced it, and that was pretty dope. Because all of my other songs are made by me and like one of my best friends, Brad. We just kind of get high and make them on a computer. We're just like, song, like I'll just be like, let's make a song called Don't Kill Yourself, You're Too Sexy, and we'll make it in under 16 minutes and just have it be like just bare minimum. Like the reason why all my songs are 60 seconds long is because that's the absolute bare minimum like length of song
To
you
even
need
consider
to
it a
like
song?
yeah
To even
it's for,
upload it?
yeah to like upload it, because like I'm all about doing like the absolute bare minimum at all times, and
Maximum
so
results, minimum effort.
yeah, so and so like when I think of my songs, I'm just sort of like this. They just kind of come to me in my head because
What does it mean? Big clit energy.
I think it just
I did have a couple questions to go along with that. But go ahead.
Go ahead and lead with that.
Yeah, go ahead. Answer that one first.
Is it like big balls energy? Because it's not the same.
No, it's
it's
big
like
dick
big
energy.
dick.
Come
It's
on,
like
you
big
don't.
dick
no,
energy
wait,
for
big
girls.
Balls energy.
Okay. Dick equivalent would be vagina.
I understand.
No,
that.
but
maybe
balls
the way
is not
you're
equivalent to clit.
a big
Am I-
dick
So
energy
it's
is a
not
thing.
that
Yeah,
deep.
you get the balls, dude.
No, the
my God. So
if it
tip
were-
of your
so
dick
it-
is your clit.
So if it were like accurate, it would. If it were like an accurate name, it would probably be like, I don't know, tight and wet pussy energy. I just chose big clit energy
Less
because
abrasive,
it
less
sounds
abrasive.
like big dick energy. So like,
See, there you go.
Yeah.
Look at you.
No,
Yeah.
I got that. I got that.
I've just
reference.
never heard the phrase big balls energy, nor do I ever want to.
Okay, fair
yeah,
enough.
like you have
What
big
kind of
balls
energy
and
is
no dick. Big balls. But yeah, for big clit energy, I was like, it kind of sounds like big dick energy, but it's the female version, and essentially it's just kind of my life philosophy where like, you know, obviously I'm a feminist, but I think there's no shortage of like racism and sexism in the world, right? Like that's kind of how I've lived my entire life, is just enduring racism and sexism. And so what big clit energy like means to me on a serious note is just like me like unfucking my brain from like all the lessons that you are like fed by the patriarchy, right? Because it's like, okay, when you're a girl and you're born, everyone tells you that like you're not as good as a boy, and that like your worth is only in your looks and your sex appeal and whatever. And obviously,
Your clit size.
yeah, and your clit size, exactly. and it's unfortunate because like, you know, a lot
the
of
bigger, the
girls.
easier to find. So I do.
Yeah, but it's unfortunate because, you know, a lot of girls like they grow up with this mentality, and it's like, it's not awesome to be told like, hey, you're not as good as men, and also your entire self-worth is in their validation. And that's like a shitty way to grow up. That's a shitty thing to tell kids. So like big clit energy for me is just sort of like, hey, like fuck that. You're a person. You're just doing whatever the fuck you want. Big clit energy to me is just like, you're your own person. You're just like confident. You're doing whatever you want, not caring about what anyone thinks. And
It sounds awesome.
yeah, and fucking whatever you want, right?
I'm a supporter of big clit energy for sure.
Yeah.
Join the movement.
I think you answered my questions in that answer there.
Yeah, she summed it all up.
I mean, my question was mostly just like, is it as dependent on the size as I think it is? But it seems like it's much more of an
It's more of
overarching
a
theme.
It's,
so,
yeah.
Okay.
It's about the energy, the size
yeah,
of
it's the energy. It's the
Yeah, no,
energy.
it's not about the clit itself being big. It's
Yeah,
about
yeah.
the energy, right?
Sorry
Yeah.
about the energy.
Like those images I
Well,
showed
because like
earlier.
big dick energy, it is sort
Like
of
someone
about
could
the
have a
size.
small dick, but still act like they have the energy of someone with a big dick.
Still all
Right.
about the energy.
I think this one goes a little deeper. Than
Yeah, no, it did, and
men
it
are much
does,
more
and
surface
it
level
do.
with their validations. Do we want
Gang
to?
I think this would be a good transition into our invention, actually, since we were
Okay.
going over big clit energy there.
Okay.
So we do a segment every week with a degenerate invention.
Okay.
So all we really do is come up with the name of it, and then we design it on the spot.
Fuck yeah.
So our invention this week, because you were here, is the clit finder. And I know it's going to be tempting to say like it just doesn't work, would be the thing, but let's try and actually design it out. My first thought with this is it kind of has to be one of two ways, either really simple or very complex in how it describes what it is. Like we could either do like a hot cold, like a very simple way for the dumb men.
Like a beep.
Like
Gets close.
it slowly beeps
like
louder,
a, like
maybe.
a stud finder for a while. Like,
Well, I think it should be something that a man has to wear on his tongue or in his mouth. Like it should be like a mouthpiece, right?
Okay.
So like when you're
It's kinda
going
like a
down.
mask that you
Yeah, it's kind of like a
clip
thing that
on.
you put in your mouth and that you like put over your tongue, and then it's like when you're getting closer, it's like beep, 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 beep.
Ooh,
When you're
maybe
getting
like,
farther, it's like beep, beep.
But it has to be so accurate.
Maybe
because
like
it's-
one of those.
it's like finding a needle in a fucking haystack.
What are those
boys.
like breath strips that you used to put on your tongue?
The Listerine?
Listerine.
Yeah,
strips.
it's like that sort of thing, and then it has.
But it's like digital.
one of those super fancy contacts that they have in
yeah.
the movies, but
No,
like that sort of thing.
I got it.
Okay.
It has to be sort of like Hungry Hippo, where it's the reverse though.
Explain that better.
Explain that,
As you
yeah.
go further, so as you go further away, you start getting zapped.
Oh,
Like, you know,
okay.
when
You
put
want
the thing-
punishment.
That's Operation.
yeah.
Oh, I said Hungry
Hungry Hippos.
Damn,
That
dude.
was you were eons
Yeah, I was
away.
thinking about the time that he brought that up. That's
okay.
Operation. You're right.
Operation.
So,
So,
yeah,
as you get further
as you're
away,
missing-
It matters so much.
That
Yeah.
your tongue gets zapped in more intensely as you get further away.
Yeah.
No, it's like
So
when
you
you're
put it
missed.
on and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
and then you kind of get in there.
It has to be.
But
I think
how do you get it to stop buzzing you? How do you actually?
you got to get there.
You gotta
How do you find it?
Well, actually, so the only way to get it to turn off is through a female's cum. So a female cum is the thing that turns it off. So it won't stop ringing in your ear specifically until she comes.
If you were here, you would not have thought about that aspect of it
Yep.
at all. I promise you.
Yeah, I'm adding the female perspective and the Asian one.
See, I was thinking it has to have kind of like a Google Maps sort of verbal directions giving, like make a left at the back, like in
Yeah.
2 inches, make a left at the labia,
Yeah.
and go up.
Nah, but you always get lost on Google.
Yeah, the maps
You miss
would
a
be
turn
bad.
and
The
you're
maps
just
would be
fucked.
bad.
Yeah,
I think we're pretty close though.
we were always pretty close,
We're
but we
always
never
pretty
quite
close.
make it to the
Yeah.
destination.
Yeah,
If that ain't
that
it,
is the tagline. It'll get you pretty close.
It'll get you pretty close. Yep.
we'll get you almost there.
Yep.
Do we want to play Bush or not?
I think Bush or not's the one.
And pretty much we're debating whether
We're
or
talking
not,
about the former president, right?
It is not
might be
strictly
involved.
based on that.
but we're debating whether or not these celebrities /
Characters.
characters
Did 9/11? Got it.
yes have Bush or not.
We're starting off with T Swift.
T Swift.
Wait, did we see? Sorry to interrupt. The picture that I just saw posted today, she's got some melons.
Oh, did she? Those are new.
Those got to be new.
Yeah,
Those are
yeah.
new.
Did you see that picture we put in the Instagram chat?
Taylor's tits.
Dude, she's got.
The new account that just got made.
Those are fucking diesel.
I think for T Swift, it depends on the time of year. Like if she's fresh out of a breakup and just put out like a new album, she's probably. I think she's waxed out.
Oh, you think she's waxed
Like
up?
when she's fresh on the street from a relationship.
I think when she's in album mode, she's full Bush.
Album mode is full Bush.
She's just focused on writing, good songs. So she doesn't have time to wax or shave.
that's true. She's so devoted to the music.
Exactly. She's that pure of an artist.
I could get behind that.
What do you think?
I just feel like she probably got laser hair removal a long time ago.
she's rich enough
I
for
feel
it.
like a lot of people that's what I got. Like I got laser hair removal like a bunch of years ago, so I can just live out my dolphin dreams,
Wait, does that last forever?
Pretty much.
I think it like shreds the hair follicles.
Yeah, it like destroys your hair follicles. It like it destroys them forever. I had to get it like 10 times. And it's more painful
Subtle
each
flex.
time. Yeah. Yeah, now I'm just living my dolphin dreams because the rest of me is smooth anyway because I'm Asian.
I hadn't picked up on that.
Thank you so much for noticing. I'm so glad you finally noticed.
I thought you were a white male, like a cis white male.
Oh my God, it's working. Whatever I'm doing is working.
Yeah, and here in the metaverse, your
Yeah,
avatar
there's
is
this
working.
meme of this dolphin that's just like up and it's like, I ain't got no panties on. And I was like, I resonate with that. And that's how I feel about my extremely smooth vagina that I got laser hair removal on many years ago.
You heard it here.
There's a lot of comments I'd like to make, but we're just gonna have to move on.
Okay.
No, wait, hold on. I think Taylor Swift just always has bush.
What? No, hell no.
You don't think so?
You think Calvin Harris was plowing bush? Fuck off. Grow up.
I'm out on
Calvin
that.
Harris isn't
You're out on that?
tolerating bush.
After
He's from
she-
Scotland.
After she mentioned the fact that there's laser hair removal, yeah, there's no.
Who else
Okay.
has she ran through? Let's be honest.
Wow, that's a really good way to put it.
Well, I don't mean like who else has ran through her. 'Cause
Who
that's
else
what I
has
actually
she
meant.
ran through?
Yeah.
Who has she
Correct.
dated? She's dated what? Harry Styles, Calvin Harris,
Isn't there a John Mayer in there?
John Mayer's in there. He's in there. Trust me.
It's a long list. I think it's almost too long to even try and
Your
recite. We'll
bush
be
is
here.
a wonderland.
bush is a
Dude, maybe that's what the song was
Luna.
about. He was trying to fucking fight through a forest with a machete.
Well, if you watch Alice in Wonderland, it's pretty forested.
That's so fair. It is very, very vegetated.
Okay, I'll go.
I
with
feel
you
like
guys.
bald guys though would like to like play with the bush as this fantasy of like I have hair and I'm also licking a vagina.
Rubs his head
It's more
against
for
it.
me like I can't grow a mustache. That's why I'm into it.
That's why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just put your
That's
head.
the
I
real
like
reason
it.
why.
I finally get to feel a little hair
We
up
were
there.
asking for your personal take on this. one.
Okay,
Go ahead.
my bad,
Go
my
ahead and
bad,
let the
my
people
bad.
know what you're into, my boy.
And who's next?
Okay. Next, we got Fiona. See, there's a
Oh.
couple things to think about here.
Okay.
Okay, during the transformation.
Oh yeah,
What
that
happens
Shrek
at-
hussy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shrek
Shressy?
pussy.
The Shrussy.
That's
The
Shruss.
Fiona. Fiona.
She's
Huh.
She's been locked away in a tower.
She's got mad bush.
I'd almost be willing to say that she's bushed up now and then,
And then
in
loses
transformation loses all the
Yeah.
bush.
Do ogres?
Loses reverse ogre,
Ogre,
bush?
yeah. I think-
Have you ever seen hair on an ogre?
I've never seen it.
Shrek's is bald.
I think we
bald.
should Google it. I think we should Google Shrek genitalia
You can
now.
actually probably look that up.
yeah,
that up
does
here.
Shrek have bush?
Can we go to the site that you had? I feel like it'd be better for that.
Fiona. How do I look this up, folks?
This is so funny. I
Shrek
literally
porn?
just got invited to this like
Shrek porn.
Universal Shrek premiere, and it's like,
Images.
There's a new Shrek.
yeah, I think it's like Puss in Boots
Hairless
or something.
Completely
And-
fucking hairless. And Shrek's got a log as expected.
yeah.
Yeah, no, they're both hairless.
Yeah, we're bushless.
But Fiona still has her hair on top of her head when she turns into Shrek
so
form.
she might be bushed out.
But no, we just saw there's no bush. I trust that artist.
That's true. That's historically accurate.
Whoever makes those fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, whoever is taking
Illustrations
the
of, like,
time to
cartoon
draw
characters?
that shit, they've done their research.
Yeah.
They're familiar with the lore. They're
Yeah.
a super fan. We're gonna trust their knowledge.
Illustrators are legends these days. They have to be.
Okay, Fiona, we're going.
Oh, shit.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Fiona, we're saying
I'm saying bush now, no bush when she's an ogre.
Yeah.
That's what Jay was saying.
no bush when she's an ogre.
Yeah.
Ogres don't have hair, dude. I just looked at an illustration. Do you want me to put it up on the screen?
Okay, oh, no. You're good. You're okay.
I
Guys,
should have
you're
showed it to you guys.
For sure.
For sure.
For sure.
heavy, right? Bleach tips.
I bleach
Bleach tips for sure.
Bleach tips.
No, he
I
probably
want-
bleaches the tips and then he changes the color of the tips.
Exactly like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With the missing patch.
He's
too.
got a flavor saver bleached out.
bleach tips.
I think what he probably stores hot sauce in it, right? So he probably like drenches his pubes in hot sauce, and then when he's eating, he
I
just
got
takes
it.
chicken and he's like, no, great.
I got it.
Got it.
It's either
You're right.
it's definitely bleached no matter what. But
Has
it's
to be.
either in the shape of flames, like she said, or it has some sort of Flavor Town embroidery across the top.
I'm just saying pure logistics here. He's way too busy driving around America searching for the greatest diners, drive-ins, and dives to tend to his pubic hair.
He's also got what's the piercing called?
Prince Albert
He's got a Prince Albert. There's no way he doesn't.
has to.
And he wears shades on the back of his dick.
He wears shades on the back of his dick.
because he always walks around like this. So
Okay. Pete Davidson.
He's such a scraggly fucker. I feel like he doesn't really. He's got like a half bush.
You can't have buttholes on your eyes.
I don't
and
know.
not have a
I
bush.
think that he is probably smooth down there because I
never
think
even
he
seen him
cares about the
clean-shaven.
pleasure of women, and I think that like he's very much like I feel like he wouldn't be fucking every single girl on the planet if he didn't have like a shaved, like really nice situation down there.
I mean, if the dong's big enough, I feel like that no one cares.
I don't think Kim K is throating
that's
anything that's not well kept.
We don't know though. We don't know.
I don't know a lot about her.
You rock that half of a shave on your face and you don't think he has
I've never seen him clean shaven.
That looks like a 14-year-old
That's true, but you've also never seen him fuck.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, like just like up here doesn't necessarily represent down there, right?
That's true.
But you can't do that.
I mean, you totally did it last weekend at Space Yacht.
It's not full bush. I think it's like a half-ass shave with like a guarded razor.
It's a weekend?
You know what I mean? Yeah.
A weekend on a double blade?
Yeah. He's got like a number 2 on it. You know what I mean?
Okay,
So on some clippers, and he's just like, fuck it.
Half bush for him?
Half bush.
Okay. For sure, right?
For sure.
Okay, because she's for sure I don't know how to tiptoe around this without saying
She's the
something
dude.
horribly. She's the dude in the relationship because her wife
She's more masculine?
is like the way more pretty princess girl.
You really tiptoed around that one. Yeah. You did it. You really did
Well,
that
I
one.
mean,
Just let him dig it.
Her
dig
wife's
the hole.
gorgeous.
Dig the hole.
Yeah, I think she's got a full fucking bush. What do you think?
I'd like to think it's the exact same as the top of her head.
It's like a little comb over.
Yeah, I'd like to think it's that exact
combed.
look. Because that is the Ellen cut.
It's well groomed for sure.
If
whatever
she's
it
staying
is.
on brand like I think she would, yes.
Middle part, though.
Dude.
I don't
has to
know.
be.
I feel
I
like
could
if
almost
she's
middle
in a-
part mine.
I don't know. I feel like if she's
God.
in, like if they're, having sex and eating each other's pussies and shit, I feel like she's probably keeping it clean shaven for her
fair.
partner.
That's fair. I don't think Portia's diving into a full bush.
I don't think so.
No,
Wait, who's Portia?
her wife.
Her wife.
Is she hot?
Wait, she's
Yeah,
married?
She's very hot.
She's been married for like 20 something.
She's on Arrested
Really?
Development,
Yeah.
I think.
They have a couple of adopted children together. She's a pretty lady.
Okay. Well, that was Bush or not?
That was Bush or no
I think
Bush?
everyone was Bush. Or not.
They were one or
That's
the other.
the name
It's
of
a-
the game.
It's a 50-50 game there.
All right, well.
Does that wrap us up?
I think we did it here today.
I think we did it,
We
folks.
crushed it.
Yeah,
Do you wanna,
that was a blast.
Plug anything before we
Plug
do that?
everything.
Yeah, plug everything. What do you got coming up?
Oh,
or
man.
just socials with whatever you got.
Well, I have some really big things coming out next year that I'm actually not allowed to talk about, but just know that I have big projects coming out next year. But in the meantime, I would just love to plug my awesome merch, clitoral hoodies, cum towels, a bunch of other stuff. That's on my website, melissa-ong.com/onggang. And
Onggang.
yeah, please follow me on all my socials, Melissa Ong 69420, because I desperately need the validation. It's my livelihood and my kink.
You could be ending a life if you don't follow her. So
Yeah.
figure it the fuck out.
Yep. It's a life or death scenario.
Yeah, urgency. We of course are at Fomo Music. No Fomo podcast. Sorry, I was plugging the wrong thing. That's our other thing. No Fomo podcast _ on all socials.
Yeah, if you guys want to support the pod, head over to our merch link in the bio. And we'll see you guys next week.
Yep. Gang, on gang.